Charles posted a group photo on Facebook featuring Yvonne, his childhood friend who recently returned from studying in Country M, standing beside him with a radiant smile. The caption read, "You will always be my pride." Charles, my fiancé, seldom posts on Facebook and has never shared any information about me. He has not even hinted at our wedding scheduled for next month. Subsequently, he expressed fervent affection for me on Facebook, but I had already blocked him. It was past 11 at night, and Charles had not yet returned. I waited for him until my eyelids grew heavy with exhaustion. Suddenly, my best friend Mia sent me a message, "Quickly check Charles's Facebook." I took out my phone, unlocked the screen, and opened his Facebook. Charles, who rarely posts, had uploaded a photo this time, accompanied by the caption, "You will always be my pride." The woman leaning against him in the photo, smiling alluringly, was his childhood friend Yvonne. I clicked on the image, zoomed in, and examined it closely. Charles's smile radiated genuine joy, causing my heart to sink gradually. Charles hardly ever posts on Facebook and has never mentioned anything related to me, not even a single word about our wedding next month. I recall once asking him if he could post a photo of us on his Facebook. He squinted with a casual smile and said, "Our love doesn't need validation from others." At that moment, I glanced at a fashion magazine on the table, where a prominent brand slogan was highlighted on the title page. "What is made public may not be the truest love, but what remains private surely is." I couldn't help but feel a tinge of irony. Does he bury his deepest love in his heart and only post about what he doesn't truly cherish on Facebook? What explains his proud, boastful demeanor in the photo, as if eager to flaunt a prized possession to the world? 3 years ago, when Charles was at his lowest point, his childhood friend Yvonne chose to study abroad in Country M. Back then, I admired Charles and decided to stay by his side to support him through his struggles. His career gradually improved, and when he was named one of the most outstanding entrepreneurs under 30 in the Asia-Pacific region, he proposed to me. Our wedding was set for next week, with all preparations complete, but unexpectedly, Yvonne returned. Mia, not receiving a reply from me, called me via voice message, "Evelyn, are you okay?" I gave a calm smile and said, "I'm fine." What could be wrong? Yvonne is back, and you know her connection with Charles. "Evelyn, if you're unhappy, you must tell me," she said, adding, "I'm really worried about you." I reassured Mia and myself it's fine. We're getting married soon. At that moment, the door lock clicked, likely Charles returning. I bid Mia farewell, hung up, and saw Charles walk in, reeking of alcohol mixed with an unfamiliar perfume, asking, "Why aren't you asleep yet?" as he loosened his tie, opened his suit jacket, and sat on the sofa. Normally, I would eagerly step forward to massage his head and prepare him a cup of honey water, but this time I stood still, unmoving. Charles slightly lifted his eyelids to glance at me. "Something wrong?" My fingers curled as I gripped my phone tightly and asked, "Yvonne is back?" Charles nodded. "Yes, she studied finance in Country M, and I've arranged for her to join the company's investment department," he said so naturally that I found myself momentarily speechless. After a long pause, I murmured, "Why?" Charles turned to me. "Yvonne graduated top of her class from the world's leading business school. I couldn't possibly pass up such talent." His gaze tinged with confusion, as if my question were absurd. My heart twinged briefly, but then I recalled a more pressing matter. What about my situation? Have you considered it? Charles covered his eyes with his hand, his tone carrying a hint of reproach. "Evelyn, I'm exhausted. Can we discuss this tomorrow?" The next morning, when I awoke, Charles had already left. He was highly disciplined, always rising on time for work regardless of how late he slept. After washing up and changing, I headed to Charles's company. My own company faced a cash flow crisis and urgently required investment to stabilize, or it would face bankruptcy. I hoped Charles's firm could invest, and he had promised to raise it at the executive meeting. I reached his company's entrance and told the new receptionist I needed to see Charles. She stared at me wide-eyed, as if I were a fraud, and asked, "Do you have an appointment?" prompting a frown from me. At that moment, a pleasant female voice called from behind, "Evelyn, is that you?" I turned and saw Yvonne, dressed in a sharp professional suit with striking lipstick. Years apart had amplified her confident aura. She held a coffee cup in one hand and extended the other to me, saying, "Long time no see." Since learning last night of her joining Charles's company, she was the last person I wanted to encounter there. I steadied my expression and gave her a brief handshake. "Long time no see." She swiped her employee card to unlock the gate, gesturing for me to follow. "You're here for Charles, right?" "I just finished a meeting with him. He should be free now." Though merely his subordinate, she seemed to inhabit the same world as him, while I, the future Mrs. Zhou, felt as if I existed in a different dimension. I walked toward the office area. "Thank you, I'll go to his office myself. No need to trouble you." My words icy, betraying the emotions I couldn't deny. Yvonne smiled calmly. "All right, I'll get back to work." At Charles's office door, his assistant Gavin saw me and looked slightly startled. I rarely visited Charles at work unless it was something critical. "Sister Evelyn, you're here," he said, stepping in front of me as if to block my entry. I stood firm. "Gavin, I need to see Charles about something." "Sister Evelyn, Charles just finished a meeting and is handling some matters. Why not sit and wait a bit?" he suggested. I felt irritated since when did I need an appointment to enter Charles's office? Gavin offered with an eager smile, "I'll make you some coffee," but I declined. "No need, I'll wait here," and sat in the guest area outside Charles's office. I held a document awaiting Charles's signature to save my company. Bankruptcy loomed, with only 3 days left to rescue it. A familiar voice sounded behind me. "Gavin, Charles asked me to see him now." I didn't look up. The voice was unmistakable, belonging to that woman, Yvonne. Yvonne's gaze seemed to brush over me, but she didn't pause, pushing open Charles's office door and stepping inside. Gavin scratched his head, slightly embarrassed. "Sister Evelyn, Yvonne and Charles have something to discuss, so please don't mind." "Yvonne? Charles certainly values her highly. Back when he was down, I helped him recover, and after the company stabilized, I requested the vice president position. He refused, urging me to resign and be the woman behind him. Unwilling to remain idle, I founded my current company, while Yvonne, a recent graduate, effortlessly secured the vice president role at his." Yvonne's silvery, joyful laughter echoed from the office. Charles was typically stern at work. Likely no one but Yvonne dared laugh so freely in his presence. My heart ached as if pricked by needles, urging me to leave, but glancing at the document in my hands, I sat back down. Finally, Yvonne emerged from Charles's office. "Evelyn, Charles is free now. You can go in," she said with a smile, as if hosting a guest in her own home. I stood, expressionless. "Thank you, Yvonne," enunciating her name sharply with a heavy dose of sarcasm. I entered Charles's office, where Yvonne's perfume still lingered, prompting an involuntary sneeze. Charles sat in his office chair with a strictly professional demeanor. "What's the matter?" I handed him the document. "Have you decided on investing in my company?" He didn't take it, replying blankly, "After executive review, we've decided against investing in your company." I had already met numerous investors, who found it odd I didn't approach Charles directly. To them, if even Charles wouldn't assist me, the project must be flawed, leading nearly all to reject me. Charles was my final hope. His response shattered my last glimmer of optimism. Sensing my disappointment, he explained, "Evelyn, please understand that business is business. We have a rigorous evaluation process for investments in your company." I glanced at a document on his desk, bearing neat handwriting. "The investment department recommends rejecting investment in XX company, signed by Yvonne." I clenched my teeth, holding back tears. "Charles, thank you for your time," then turned and walked out. I wandered aimlessly through the streets as memories flooded back. Frankly, Charles had treated me well these past few years, never missing a surprise on anniversaries. He was there for me when I was sick or down, yet I never appeared on his Facebook, and he rarely took me to his private friend gatherings. I once thought it was his reserved nature, avoiding undue attention, but Yvonne's return and his eagerness to broadcast it revealed the disparity. Perhaps he did love me, but there was someone he loved more in his heart. When that person reappeared, I became a compromise. It was time to end it all. I returned home, packed my belongings simply, and left. The duplex apartment I lived in was bought by Charles for me. He often stayed over, though he also owned a villa in Blue Moon Bay, our intended new home. The apartment held many memories, but as I prepared to leave, I realized there was little worth taking beyond clothes and daily essentials. I wheeled my suitcase straight to the airport and bought a ticket to Yunnan. I had long dreamed of living a carefree life in a small courtyard, though I'd begged Charles to join me. He always cited work as an excuse. After boarding and settling into my seat, I received a call from the hotel about next month's wedding details. I told them outright that the wedding was cancelled. The hotel staff tactfully noted that even with the cancellation, a penalty fee was due. I agreed instantly. Deduct it from the deposit, take whatever's needed, unconcerned since Charles had paid it. After hanging up, I switched my phone to airplane mode, put on an eye mask, and fell asleep. During descent, turbulence jolted the plane violently, waking me. Fear surged, and I instinctively grabbed the arm of the person beside me. The flight attendant's soothing voice came over the intercom, calming passengers not to fear. The plane was silent save for her voice, as everyone held their breath. After the turbulence subsided and the plane stabilized, I exhaled deeply. Finally, it's over. A pleasant male voice beside me asked, "Miss, are you all right?" Only then did I realize I was still clutching my neighbor's arm. I looked up into a pair of striking eyes. The man had sharp features and deep pupils, exuding a youthful purity. He smiled. "It's you?" I released his arm, feeling a vague familiarity but unable to place him. "Evelyn," he said, naming me precisely. "Who are you?" "Leo." "Oh, I remember now." Leo, a renowned investor I'd once scheduled to meet about funding my company, but I stood him up when Charles called me to attend an award ceremony. Leo smiled knowingly. "You're quite forgetful for someone important." Embarrassed, I said, "Leo, I don't recall meeting you, though we had an appointment, but you stood me up." Leo tilted his head. "Though I attended that award ceremony you went to and the celebration party afterward." After that ceremony, Charles proposed to me at the party with few attendees. I hadn't realized Leo was there. "Leo, it's not that I forgot you, I genuinely didn't know you before," I explained. Leo shrugged with a smile. "No matter." "Miss Evelyn, are you heading to Yunnan to travel?" I nodded. "What a coincidence I am too. Would you like to be my travel companion?" I'd planned a solo trip and didn't want to alter it for anyone. "Leo, I just want to wander alone. Bringing someone else might be inconvenient," I said. He looked slightly hurt. "I decided to travel on a whim with no plans. I don't even know where to go after we land." Surprised, I asked, "Leo, you have no plans?" He nodded. "Yes, that's the essence of a spontaneous trip. I'll follow your lead completely, no objections." "Can I join you, Miss Evelyn?" I considered it. Traveling alone could be inconvenient, and if he didn't disrupt my plans, it might work. Leo winked playfully, his charm quickening my pulse. "All right, if you've no other plans, we can travel together, but you must follow my lead entirely," I said firmly, setting my condition. Leo grinned. "Rest assured, I'll obey you completely." The plane landed smoothly. Then, Leo courteously retrieved my suitcase from the overhead bin, switching to, "Evelyn, let's go." I'd booked a guest house by Arai Lake, featuring a courtyard and a room with floor-to-ceiling windows facing the lake. Morning sunlight would stream in, offering a view of the serene water from bed. I'd reserved it instantly upon seeing the photos online. We rented a car at the airport and drove straight to Delhi. At the guesthouse check-in, the owner apologized. "Sorry, we're fully booked today. Only your pre-reserved room is available." I widened my eyes. "No way, didn't I call earlier to reserve an extra room?" "I'm truly sorry, I misread earlier. All rooms are booked," he replied. Unwilling to give up my room for another guest house, I turned to Leo. "Sorry, shall I find you another place?" Leo shook his head. "It's so late, where would I find a place now? It's dark out, and I'm scared." I was speechless as the owner glanced between us. "Actually, our rooms are quite spacious." Leo looked at me pleadingly. "Evelyn, can I crash in your room for the night?" Since I'd brought him, I felt a sense of duty. "Find out an extra bed then." Leo smiled. "Evelyn, you're so kind." Inwardly reluctant, I feigned generosity. "It's what I should do." The night passed uneventfully. The next morning, my first act was to draw the floor-to-ceiling curtains, letting fresh sunlight flood the room instantly. Sunlight pierced the clouds, scattering across the lake's surface, the Tyndall effect evoking a heavenly vision. "It's beautiful," a male voice said from behind. I turned to see Leo, hair tousled, gazing out the window in a daze. I smirked. Now you see why I insisted on staying here. Leo didn't reply, half emerging from the blankets to stretch, in loose silk pajamas with 2 buttons undone, revealing his striking collarbone. I blushed slightly and quickly turned back to the window. Get up quick, we've a full day ahead, I said sternly to mask my fluster. Yes, Evelyn, 10 minutes, Leo replied, springing out of bed. I went downstairs for breakfast first. True to his word, Leo washed up and came down in outdoor gear within 10 minutes. I'd planned the day's itinerary, and Leo was fully cooperative, joining me up mountains and to the sea without complaint, even serving as my dedicated photographer. Returning to the guest house late that night, I asked the front desk for extra rooms. The owner replied regretfully, no one checked out today. I was about to ask about nearby guest houses when Leo interjected, that's a shame, Evelyn, I'll need to trouble you again tonight. My refusal caught in my throat after his day as my photographer. I couldn't bear to send him away so late. Back in the room, I showered first. Emerging, I found Leo staring at my phone, lost in thought. Seeing me, he hurriedly handed over the phone. Charles called you earlier, he kept ringing, so I thought it was urgent and answered, but he seems to have misunderstood. I frowned. Sorry, I didn't mean to. He won't trouble you, will he? I reassured Leo, we've broken up. His misunderstanding is his issue, not yours. I took the phone to the balcony. Charles was intensely possessive. Even if he no longer cared, he wouldn't easily accept someone else in my life. I dialed, and Charles answered instantly, nearly shouting, Evelyn, where are you? Who are you with? Why'd you cancel the wedding? I stayed silent until he calmed slightly, then replied slowly, Charles, I cancelled the wedding because I don't want to marry you. Our engagement is off. As for your other questions, I'm sorry, but I'm not obliged to answer. His briefly calm voice flared again, Evelyn, who gave you the guts to cancel? I didn't agree. How dare you? Charles, if one person ends a relationship, it's over. I don't need your approval, do I? He paused, then softened, Evelyn, are you sulking at me? Sulking about what? Are you mad I didn't invest in your company? Evelyn, what's so great about that failing business? Marry me, and I'll support you. You don't need to stress. What do you mean failing? That company is my life's work. But Charles, I don't blame you for not investing. Then why were you upset? I'm not upset. Then why break up? Because I want to, I said. Silence followed, neither of us speaking. After a moment, I heard Yvonne's voice from his end, Charles, hurry, everyone's waiting. I hung up, blocked all his contacts, and felt a wave of relief wash over me. Back in the room, Leo was still awake, post-shower in pajamas, sitting on his bed likely waiting for me. Under warm yellow light, his dark eyes sparkled. You okay? I smiled faintly, I'm fine. His gaze burned into me. Did you break up? I saw no need to hide it and nodded, yes. Then, would you consider me? My heart skipped, tongue stumbling. What did you say? Leo grinned carelessly, just kidding, I just want you to be happy. I smiled, thanks. I'm not unhappy. This relationship was irreparable. Breaking up frees us both, and I'm happier for it. Leo eyed me, unconvinced. Good, but if you're unhappy, it's okay. I won't judge. Embarrassed, he saw through me. I ordered in a leader's tone, sleep now, tomorrow's packed. The next day, as Leo and I ate breakfast, my assistant Daisy called, her voice brimming with excitement. Sister Evelyn, Charles agreed to fund our company. I replied instantly, I won't accept. Daisy must have thought me mad, probing, Sister Evelyn, did you fight with Charles? You're passing up this chance? This investment could save us. Everyone could stay. I knew Charles was just unwilling to let go. I'd trailed him for years, and he'd grown accustomed to me managing everything behind the scenes. Now that I was leaving, his strong need for control couldn't bear my rejection. I wanted a clean break, free of any ties to him. Yet Daisy's words forced me to reconsider Charles's offer. Dissolving the company pained me most because of my co-founding partners. Before leaving, I'd instructed Daisy and HR to provide ample severance, but her feedback revealed they were more attached to the company we'd built together. I knew I couldn't act rashly and sighed, Daisy, let me think it over. She seemed to grasp something. Sister Evelyn, we'll support whatever you decide. I hung up, my mind restless. Charles was using this to force my submission, yet I couldn't abandon my startup team. Leo looked at me. What happened? I gave a wry smile. Before coming to Yunnan, I thought my company was done, but now there's a chance to save it, and I don't want it. Am I crazy? Leo frowned. You don't want it because you can't accept the investor, right? Amazed at his insight, I nodded. That's common if you ask me. I'd advise against taking funds from an investor you don't trust, he said. I get that, but I don't want to let my partners down, I replied. Then consider me. I'd like to be your investor, Leo offered. Are you sure? You don't even know what my company does, I countered. Leo smiled. Investing is sometimes about the person. I trust you as a founder, so it's worth it. Tell me about your company. I abandoned the day's plans, grabbed my laptop, booted it up, and briefed Leo about my company at the guesthouse table. 2 hours later, we signed an investment agreement. I called Daisy joyfully. Daisy, our company's saved. Sister Evelyn, you took Charles's investment? No, I found a new investor. Your efficiency is impressive. Suddenly, Charles's voice came through Daisy's phone. Evelyn, where are you? Why reject my investment? I'm the only one willing to back your failing company. Refuse me, and you're done. Daisy's panicked voice followed. Charles, why are you here? Fearing he'd harass her, I said, Charles, my company has a new investor. Don't trouble my staff. Charles sneered. A new investor? The ones you know wouldn't touch you. Who else would invest? How do you know they won't invest? Did you say something to them? He paused, then softened. Evelyn, I just don't want you struggling. Marry me and stay home as my wife. Isn't that better? My heart chilled. I gritted my teeth. Charles, you're despicable. Who'd be your wife? We're done. My company has new funding. Get out, or I'll have security remove you. Charles began. Evelyn, listen to me. I hung up, slamming the phone down. Leo observed coolly. Looks like Charles is out for good, and I declared firmly, I want him gone from my life completely. Leo and I followed my guide for a day out, returning late. The guest house had no vacancies again, meaning Leo would share my room once more. Now my investor, essentially my benefactor. I hesitated to oust him. Reflecting on his respectful behavior these past days, I let him stay in my room again. Post-shower, as I prepared for bed, Charles's childhood friend Jeff called. Evelyn, Charles is drunk and insists you pick him up. Where are you? Hurry over. I scoffed. Sorry, I'm busy. Jeff paused, stunned. Previously, he'd call me when Charles was drunk, and I'd dutifully go, no matter the hour. My response clearly shocked him. Evelyn, is that really you? You're ignoring Charles? Jeff, we've broken up. Please don't call me about him anymore. Evelyn, are you serious? You're upset because Yvonne's back, right? I'm telling you, they're impossible. She ditched him to go abroad. He'd never take her back, no matter his pride. Jeff, stop. I'm just tired. It's not about Yvonne. He's nothing to me now. Then Charles shouted over the line. Evelyn, you can't abandon me. You loved me. I know you sold your parents' house to help my company through tough times. I know it all. You won't leave me, right? He was right. It happened. When Yvonne left, leaving Charles broken, I sold my house, had Jeff give him the money, and fearing his pride claimed it was from Jeff. I'd told Jeff to keep it secret, but he hadn't. Charles, I did love you once, but it's over. Let's both move on, I said, hanging up and blocking Jeff too. Leo sat nearby, scrolling his phone, then clicked his tongue. Charles posted so much on Facebook at once. Rare. He showed me the screen. The person in the photos looks like you. I looked closely. Indeed, Charles had posted pictures of us, me leaning on him, smiling brightly, full of hope. Charles wrote, Evelyn, come back. I miss you so much. I sneered coldly. Too late. They say belated love is worth less than grass. Who's he playing devoted for now? By the way, Leo, I'm heading back tomorrow, I said. Leo's eyes widened. I'm not done enjoying your leaving? Not for Charles, right? I replied coolly. Leo, you're overthinking with your investment. I need to return and work with my team to make it pay off soon. He muttered, money can wait. I'd rather you stay and hang out. I handed him a stack of papers. Leo, here's my guide, you can follow it. I won't join you tomorrow. He took it, face full of regret. Fine, I'll go solo then. The next day, Leo left early alone to see the sunrise per my guide. I booked my return ticket and went to check out. The owner said Leo had paid for our stay and extended the room. I didn't insist on paying, figuring I was working for him now, so a few days lodging was like team building. Before leaving with my packed bags, the owner whispered mysteriously, "We've had vacant rooms these days." Mr. Leo told me not to say, insisting I tell you we're full. I was speechless. He grinned. I didn't want to lie, but he paid so much. I frowned. Aren't you afraid I'll leave a bad review online? I trust you won't. You seem kind, he said. Fine, you're a good judge, but I've a request. Charge Leo double, or I'll really leave that bad review. Back at the company, I held a brief meeting with my team, and we dove into intense work. I grasped the importance of positive cash flow, unwilling to risk losing the company again. Charles didn't bother me further. The guide I gave Leo spanned a month. I hoped by his return, he'd see my company out of crisis and on track. But 3 days later, Leo returned. Seeing him at my company, I was surprised. Was my guide not fun enough? Why were you back so soon? Leo scratched his head, grinning. I was eager to check on my new investment. As for travel, I prefer a guide with me. His eager gaze met mine. Need help with the company? Energized, I poured out our challenges. A good investor brings more than money, experience and networks too. Over the next period, he immersed himself in my company. His market and marketing insights were invaluable, clarifying our path and crafting new strategies. Soon, we achieved positive cash flow. Simply put, we started profiting. We held a small celebration, proudly announcing our month's profits. I saw tears in everyone's eyes. Our efforts paid off, profits rolled in, and we became self-sustaining, pulling back from bankruptcy's brink. I raised my glass to Leo. Leo, I owe you the most thanks, he smiled. You should thank me, but you deserve it most. Our glasses clinked with a crisp ding, a slight tremor stirring in my chest. His gaze grew more intense, but I turned away. Perhaps the alcohol quickened my heart, and I feared he'd notice my nerves. The company thrived, keeping me busier. Though I often felt Leo's fervent stares, I chose to ignore them. One day, Leo emailed me about a Female Business Leader award, saying he could nominate someone suitable. I recommended you. I'm flattered. Trust me, you're worthy. I think so too. Let's see. On the candidate list release day, I saw Yvonne's name, undoubtedly Charles's pick. Leo casually mentioned, Charles nominated Yvonne for company publicity. She's his VP now, but I hear she's struggling. Charles's control stifles her, and there's tension between them. I pursed my lips. I'd worked with Charles. He was stubborn, deaf to others, trusting only himself. Why nominate me? I asked. Leo replied earnestly, because you deserve it. I've seen your business acumen and resilience. You should rise higher, be seen. It'll boost your career. And your brilliance deserves wider recognition, he said, eyes gleaming. I realized he was lifting me up, and sincerely said, thank you, Leo. His gaze softened. If you win, will you grant me a wish? My heart quivered like a plucked string. I lowered my head, whispering, I promise. At the award ceremony a month later, Leo and I attended together. I wore a black gown with Australian white pearl necklace and earrings. Leo had arranged the ensemble. I'd planned a simple black suit, but he dragged me shopping, saying, today could be a pinnacle moment. You must shine, not hide. Arm in arm with Leo in his dark suit, we entered and met Charles and Yvonne. Charles's eyes fixed on my hand on Leo's arm, his lips twitching, face darkening. Yvonne smiled, extending her hand. Evelyn, didn't expect you here. I smirked, chin up, briefly touching her hand. Nor are you after all, you're just a VP. Yvonne's face shifted. Evelyn, don't get smug, am I? I'm just stating facts. Indeed, she was merely Charles's VP, while I owned a company nearing his valuation per recent assessments. Seeing Yvonne falter, Charles gave me a deep look, then pulled her away. Leo glanced at me, smiling. Evelyn, the ceremony's starting, time to sit. I followed Leo to our assigned seats, a few spots from Charles and Yvonne. The ceremony began. As speeches dazed me, I suddenly heard my name announced from the stage. Leo whispered, "They're about to name the winner." As he spoke, the stage voice declared, "Congratulations to this year's most influential female business leader, Evelyn." Leo hugged me excitedly. "Evelyn, congrats, you won." Someone led me on stage, where I gave my acceptance speech under the audience's gaze. Amid flashing lights, I descended the stage, the experience dreamlike only when I sat back down, clutching Leo's arm. Did I feel grounded in reality? I whispered to Leo, "Did I really win?" "Pinch me, I might be dreaming." He raised a hand but instead tucked my hair back. "It's real since you won, time to keep your promise." I looked up. "What promise?" "You said you'd grant me a wish," he reminded me, and I recalled I had. I guessed Leo's wish's tender looks lately hinted at it. Blushing, I lowered my head. "What's your wish?" He whispered, "I wish to complete your travel guide with you." Wait, that wasn't what I'd expected. Seeing my shock, Leo smirked slyly. "Evelyn, is that okay?" I nodded, "Yes, of course." Suddenly, I felt a burning stare. Following it, I saw Charles. Yvonne watched too, her look less kind. Charles left Yvonne's arm, approached, and offered his hand. "Congrats, Evelyn." I didn't shake it, just said coolly, "Thank you." The day after, Leo and I flew to Yunnan, starting our free travel adventure. On day 1, we returned to our previous guest house, this time in separate rooms. My stern glare ensured the owner didn't collude with Leo again. After a day out, back at the guest house, I showered and was about to sleep when Leo knocked. Opening the door, he showed me his phone. Charles had just posted a picture on Facebook. It was me accepting the award yesterday, captioned, "You are my pride." I sneered, "Whose is pride really? Wasn't it Yvonne?" Leo gazed at me quietly. "Is that the point?" I looked up, his grieved eyes meeting mine. "Then what is?" He knelt on one knee, holding a ring box. "Evelyn, marry me." The sudden proposal dazed me. "Leo, stand up, what's this about?" He knelt firmly, holding the diamond ring. "Evelyn, I like you. I want you as more than my travel guide, but as my life's leader too." Looking at him, my feelings overflowed. I nodded. "I will." Leo rose, swiftly slipping the ring onto my finger. Before I could speak, a passionate kiss silenced me. After the lingering kiss, Leo held my hand and snapped a photo. Posting the photo of our clasped hands on Facebook, he grumbled, "I planned to propose atop the snow mountain in 2 days, but Charles's post made me do it now." I leaned in to see Leo had posted our hands, the dazzling diamond ring stealing the spotlight. His caption read, "Evelyn, you'll always be my pride. Thank you for leading my future. Leo will forever be your most cooperative teammate." The post quickly garnered likes and comments, including from investors I knew. "Evelyn, won't you post too?" he asked. I leaned back on the sofa, admiring my sparkling ring. "No rush, we just got together." Leo looked serious. "Evelyn, I'm serious about you. I hope you are too. You'd better post an announcement now." I leaned close. "No, I've something more important now," and kissed his lips. True love shouldn't just stay in the heart, it must be proclaimed. For the right person, let them shine in the sun.